Hello, my name is Kirk and I'm making a follow-up video to my introduction video because I got a lot of responses and a lot of people requesting more information. I just barely touched a little bit on what we were doing and why our treatment method is different and unique. And a lot of people wanted to know how have I been able to recover from being really extreme with bipolar 1 to having 100% remission for multiple years. So I'm going to get into that, but before I do, I would like to tell everyone, whether they're a mom, a dad, a sibling, spouse, friend, if anybody knows somebody that's suffering with bipolar, or if you yourself are suffering with bipolar, if you like this video and you find it interesting, please feel free to share it. I want as many people to know about this so that we can get some research going. It needs to be researched. So I'm going to get straight to the point now. Our treatment method is very unique. What we do is we take an individual who's on their standard medications from the psychiatrist, and then we add tamoxifen citrate. It's an anti-estrogen. It has been studied in the past to treat mania, extreme mania. The studies are with small numbers of people, and they were only done for a couple weeks. They thought because it inhibited the protein kinase C enzyme, it would keep people, or maybe knock them out of mania very quickly. The results actually were very good, even though I didn't necessarily agree with all the things they did in the study. So what makes ours different is we're keeping everybody on all their medications. We add the tamoxifen citrate. Then after about a period of 3 to 6 months, they're evaluated, and if they're doing really well, they come off maybe 10% of one medication or another. Now, this takes a long time to do this. So usually we see major improvements after 6-month intervals. So every 6 months, they kind of come off more medication. This has been very, very successful. So I've watched multiple people and very close friends and even some family members recover 100% from bipolar. And by recover, I'm going to be very clear. People get really touchy when you use the word cure. So we're going to just take that word, put it to the side. What I'm talking about is no swings and no major episodes that are going to cause a disruption in your life. So that's what I mean by 100% remission. It means all of the bad things of the bipolar are gone. No more swings, no more really bad depressions, no more manias. People are still going to have a bad day every once in a while. So now that you know kind of our protocol, it doesn't matter what kind of medication somebody's on. Usually a mood stabilizer or something else. I myself was on everything from antipsychotics to anti-seizure medications, mood stabilizers, and really I was on pretty high doses too. So around 1,800 milligrams of lithium at one point, along with 450 milligrams of Lamictal. I had memory loss, major problems, and my depressions were so bad I was catatonic. I was unable to interact or bathe or clean myself. Even eating and going to the bathroom was pretty difficult. So actually eating, I didn't even eat. So the only thing I did was lie there and then occasionally go to the bathroom. Those were my downs. My ups were really extreme, including paranoia, delusions, all that other stuff. I am now working 7 days a week, and I work with 50 families and individual students every single week. And I've been doing this for, well, a lot of years now. So that's my day job. When I'm not doing that, I consult for families and individuals suffering or dealing with bipolar. And I also consult with quite a few different doctors, psychiatrists, and anybody who has questions for me. So first of all, I'd like to get into the fact that this is real. And the reason I wrote my book, which you'll be able to see at the end of the video, we'll bring up a picture of it. If you read it and you're bipolar, you're going to know, first of all, I can't make this stuff up. I was very in-depth with exactly what my moods were like, how they felt, and I went through the whole discovery process, what I went through. How we found out was I started doing a lot of research when everybody said there's no possibility of, you know, total remission. The best we can do is hope for, you know, good treatment that allows you to live a semi-normal life. I wasn't okay with semi-normal. I wanted to have a normal life. And so I started researching from everything from medical journals to articles to previous studies that they've done. And I found a lot of things that were similar to bipolar being researched with endocrinology. And endocrinologists were looking into things from people, everything from people abusing steroids and anabolic steroids to corticosteroids, some of those particular compounds and the way those chemicals interacted with the individuals, especially if they're abusing them. It mimicked a lot of the things we see, whether it's on the depressive side or on the mania side. So my doctor and I finally came to the conclusion, and after a lot of time, you know, struggled, they added it. Nothing else was working. I was unable to hold a job. I was unable to really keep a relationship going, or any meaningful relationship. Even went through a divorce. So I had a massive problem there. And especially with school. There's no way someone that was as severe as I was going to get through college. It just wasn't going to happen. My transcripts go from 18 credit hours to 12 and then time off. Of course, coinciding with my swings. And it just kind of bounced back and forth there. So I needed something real and something that worked. And so I found all of these things where you have the scientists researching bipolar are looking at the neurotransmitters, even the genes that we have. They're looking at smaller and smaller pieces. And then the endocrinologists were looking at some of these mood swings they were seeing and looking at them from a totally different way, but they weren't talking back and forth. So I don't think that the tamoxifen citrate is working due to the protein kinase C, or the inhibition of that particular enzyme. The reason I don't feel like that is because there's other bipolar medications that already do that. So myself, just so everyone knows, I came off all of my medication very slowly under a doctor's supervision. Let me be very, very frank. You need to talk to a doctor and a psychiatrist and follow what they say. It will save your life. Do not do anything radical. Do not change your medication or stop your medications without talking to a psychiatrist. And it's the stability that eventually kind of wears it down. And then also, as you're getting better, neuroplasticity, the ability of the brain to be able to change and adapt. So thinking positively, staying healthy, staying drug-free, some of those things are very important. And then also having a supportive and loving family. So that's how we came to kind of find this. And then over time, as I got a lot better, my doctor and I looked at each other and said, okay, we have to do something. So there were, through word of mouth, it kind of spread. And there were quite a few people that were recalcitrant to all other medications, meaning nothing worked for them. And they had no other places to look or options to try. Therefore, they came to my doctor and tried the tamoxifen program. And we had phenomenal success, and enough that I was asked to write the book, which I did. And I've worked with some amazing scientists. The person who wrote the foreword to my book is a very well-known scientist who invented one of the most commonly used chemotherapy drugs. Bipolar in a steady state of remission. That's why I'm making this video. We need people to do real research on this. It's something very valid, and I didn't just use tamoxifen citrate. The first medication was actually anastrozole, or Arimidex, which is a potent aromatase inhibitor. It's also an anti-estrogen. I just couldn't afford that medication because at the time it was around $1,100 a month. I certainly couldn't do that without being able to hold a job. So the tamoxifen citrate was much less expensive. I have looked for commercial partners to do some clinical trials. Again, this is why I'm asking, if you know anyone who is suffering with this, please reach out. Let me know. If you need me to make a different video, please do so. And it's very important for this to kind of get out there. So, you know, these amazing scientists that are out there have the ability to do some clinical research. So that's what I'd like to see, is some clinical trials, so we can actually change the standard of care. That's my end goal. And I know this is much longer and more in-depth than my previous one. I will be doing some follow-up videos talking about mania and depression, and even kind of the different stages that I have noticed with them, whether that's from the people that I've worked with and helped, or from my own personal experience. So I will get into those. Please feel free to contact me for anything you'd like me to talk about, or any questions you might have. And you can find me again on Twitter. I'll be putting up a blog to get a little more in depth on some of these other issues about mania and depression. And again, please, if you are bipolar and you're watching this, you have to understand, you need to make sure you follow what the doctor is telling you to do. They're doing their very best, and I know sometimes it feels like the system is broken and that you're a guinea pig and they keep trying different sets of medications. That was a really big problem for me and I didn't like it, but you have to stick with it. It'll save your life. So please do not do anything without a doctor's okay. So thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. And again, if you like this, please share this with as many people as you possibly can. And I'll do my best to continue to fight towards getting rid of the stigma of bipolar and helping people find a second chance in happiness, which is what I have, and I've been lucky enough to do that. I feel the only reason I was given that chance was to help others. That's why I'm here. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.